Egghead was being bombarded by marine warships, which by the way had some pretty weird animation in my opinion. Meanwhile, Whale Luffy was struggling to digest the mountain of food he had eaten, and the NPCs threatened him, saying it was over. Luffy mocked them, calling them weak. And even though they were, they still got offended. Luffy pushed hard like he was about to take a dump, and in just 1 second made all the food disappear, which scared the NPC into thinking he'd be eaten too. The bombardment continued, smoke rising even higher, but Luffy still had the guts to inhale it all, like his lungs turned into a Marlboro smoker's. The NPC finally realized it was no longer safe to stay there, and when they looked again, Luffy had vanished. Suddenly he starts laughing like a maniac, and the guy goes full Tenten mode, calling everyone to cuff him, but out of nowhere the ground turns into rubber, shaking everybody around. Luffy jumps right in front of some extra in a way that even I'd be scared of him with that psycho laugh. The extras realize they can't hold him and immediately run away, while the Marines keep spamming half-baked explosions. 10 years later, Vegapunk is still just watching everybody fall without being able to do anything. Then he remembers something and calls Atlas. Meanwhile, the creepy old man orders fire on Kuma and Bonney. Vegapunk tells Atlas to talk to Bonney, while the wronged one keeps climbing as thousands of Pacifistas are ready to finish the job. Atlas flies straight to Bonney and whispers a secret to her, and just when the CGI Pacifistas were finally about to fire, something that took an eternity, Bonney screamed at them not to shoot, calling all of them daddy, and begged them to help her escape Egghead. Shockingly, it actually worked, and the Pacifistas turned against the marine ships, finally firing for real. Then Vegapunk revealed he only had one concern, the fear of Bonney being killed by her own father. That was something he'd never allow to happen. Even if the Kuma clones obeyed the world's highest authority, Kuma himself would always stand by Bonney. Vegapunk admitted it was his selfish wish, and that he'd suffer the consequences for it. Man, I hate that old geezer in Kizaru, who just kisses up to him. The old man orders Borsalino to wipe everyone out, and he starts blasting lasers at everyone around. When Sanji tries to attack him, he vanishes and goes straight for Kuma and Bonney, but suddenly Luffy bursts out laughing, so you already know shit's about to go down. Out of nowhere, Luffy throws a punch that smashes Kizaru's face and sends him flying. A long-range punch, no less. And now that the man's stomach is full, you can bet he's insanely strong. He starts shaking everything around like a madman, laughing hysterically while bouncing all over the place. Magically, everyone falls safely because the ground had turned to rubber, and once again, they all stare at the old spider. The NPC, caught in the middle of chaos, doesn't understand a thing while the island shakes non-stop. Kizaru crawls out from under a rock, all beaten up. Meanwhile, Bonney sees Vegapunk's little tribute to Ace, runs to him and calls the poor stabbed guy to escape. The old spider declares that the destiny of insects is always the same, and then everything starts shaking again, leaving him in shock. For the 1000th time, they show that giant robot powering up, but this time it actually moves. Then Bonney starts realizing who Luffy really is. She remembers her father saying he always wanted to be a hero who could save the weak and the oppressed. She asks if Nika would come to free her, and Kuma says yes, showing his usual dance, saying he would appear laughing and moving in that rhythm. Vegapunk reveals he knew all along that she hadn't noticed the Luffy Kuma protected all this time was also Nika, the sun god, and that's when she finally sees the long-awaited Nika. Vegapunk says the Buster Call won't mean anything because people all over the world have been waiting for Nika for ages. Bonney breaks down in tears. Meanwhile, a literally gigantic ship arrives on Egghead's northeast coast. The guys say the battle had truly begun, while Pacifistas keep sinking marine ships. The NPC hears something approaching from the stern, goes to check, and recognizes the giant ship. He quickly alerts everyone since a massive vessel was approaching from the northeast coast. He thought they had disbanded over 100 years ago, and wonders why they're here now. The giants tell everyone not to stop and to keep moving forward, leaving the Marines in shock and forcing all ships to fire on them. Though it didn't do anything against the giant's ship, not even a scratch. The giants kept advancing, saying everything in this world happens for a reason. The NPC ordered them to stop firing so they wouldn't hit their own men, and then the giants jumped onto the marine ships, beating everyone down, saying they came to get Straw Hat, the so-called sun god. In the next episode, Egghead is about to be annihilated, but in that desperate moment, the giants arrive, leaving the Straw Hats emotional as they watch them beating the hell out of the Marines. Finally, they'll reunite with the friends they met back in Little Garden. The title of the next episode is The Reinforcements You Can Count On, Dorry and Brogy Enter the Scene.